congratulations on becoming the new drummer of Dream Theater, and an
Thank you.
epic new chapter in Dream Theater's life and also in your musical career. Now we've all seen the documentary, so we know the process of how the band auditioned the drummers and eventually how they came to pick you as their new drummer. But I wonder what the audition didn't show that much was how much time did you actually spend on learning the new songs that they told you that you would be playing, and did you learn any additional songs just in case, just in case they'd throw something extra in for good measure?
Okay, the answer to those questions, firstly, I had 3 weeks to learn them, but I was away from the drums for 2 of those weeks. I'll explain that. And I didn't learn any extra songs on the drums, but I had many songs outlined just in case. And I made a what if list. What if they ask me if I know anything? What if they test me on certain things? What if they ask me this question? What if I don't have a piece of gear? What if I get no warm-up time? What if this and what if that? And I wrote down an answer for most everything. So that was the basic essence of my preparation, was a what-if list. And as an extension of that, I looked at, well, I have 3 songs to learn. I have 3 weeks to do it. What if I'm not at the drums? And certainly I wasn't. I had to spend the very first week going back to Berklee College to begin the semester, which is a gross week. I mean, it's really time-consuming. And I sit in traffic just like everybody else and smell the exhaust everyone else smells and live the same kind of situation that anybody would live, and I'm tired when I come home. I have 2 young kids, so what if? Well, I said, okay, at night I'll write things down, and in the morning before I go to Berklee, I will get up 30 minutes or 1 hour early and just sit behind the kit. When the kids wake up, then I'll play. So I did that. Then I spent a week in South America, 8 days actually, even call it 9 with flights, in South America, brutally tired doing drum clinics, and all I could do was listen to the songs. So then I came home and I had a full week on the kit plus 2 days. And I can tell you that one day or 2 days before the audition, I basically have tried to block some of the songs because it was difficult for me. But 2 days before, I basically couldn't play The Spirit Carries On to save my life. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm writing down and then trying it, because that's the thing about learning songs. You gotta play. You have to play.
Exactly.
Listening doesn't do it. So that's what happened.
Cool. Now, we all saw, that we saw you play during the audition, and you were like the band said as well, that you nailed the songs perfectly. And your approach to learning the songs, was that, did you learn them exactly as they are on the album, or did you maybe listen to some of the live DVDs to see how the take was on the songs when they were played live?
I went as note for note as I could with the record. What I mean by that is when I learn songs, I do 2 things. I outline the song with a very specific method. I actually named a course after this at Berklee. I taught a specific course called Rock Repertoire, and what it consisted of was how to get a job, how to win an audition. That's basically what it's about. And I've been teaching it for a long time. The crux of it is how to outline a song, because you don't want to get lost in a song. So that's the first thing that I do, is I count all the bars and notate where I need to notate and just get a picture of it. And then I slow it down to 75% of this regular speed, and then I slow it down to half speed. I can't slow it down to half speed right away. I don't even know what I'm listening to. So those are the 2 things, and I absolutely have to sit and crawl through it and press rewind. I mean, I'm learning tour songs right now, and it's interesting because I'm learning them on the iPhone for a reason. Not that I'm trying to, hey, now, can I get an iPhone endorsement? That would be actually nice. But, this is my email, the messages are going off like popcorn because I have so much to prepare for beyond learning songs for the tour. I don't want to miss anything. So there I am in the middle of one of the particular songs, and ding, it goes off. Oh no! And I'll get it afterwards. I'm crawling through the tune and pressing it. But that's the basic routine. And for the audition, I basically worked them up to full speed right before I went down. But by the time I did that, John, I knew them. I really, okay, I'm going to hit this splash cymbal right here and not this stack, or I'm going to hit this crash cymbal because I know I have to get around the side of this kit for a drum fill. So that's what actually happened. Does that help?
Yeah, that's a really good explanation to your approach. And now I know that you're in the middle of learning the new material right now, both old and new Dream Theater songs. Are there any songs that you can say that you're not prioritizing, or are you looking at the entire catalog?
I've prioritized all the songs for the summer. And I finished my drum tracks on the record already. And when, who, what, and where with those songs is to be determined in rehearsal. But I've been given a massive list, and for the summer. Yeah. So those are the songs. I had been listening to the entire catalog. I mean, I've listened to every song at least 3 or 4 times, and I have played along with the catalog. But there's a difference between learning the songs and playing to them.
I know, yeah. Now the tour starts. The summer tour starts in July.
That's right.
Can we expect some new stuff in there as well? I mean, the new album isn't going to be released till September, but can we expect a few new songs as well on the set list?
Well, that will be for those guys to determine, when the rehearsals hit. I mean, I'm definitely I yield to what they would like to do on an awful lot of things for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm new. So, and number two, I love the stuff that they do. I love what they come up with. I love their ideas. And, I guess it's basically a big life change for me, but having a couple of kids, having the full-time job, plus traveling to 4 continents every 2 years, so I travel that much, and maintain the job and maintain the kids. I've learned to let other people do their jobs and not get in their way. I mean, I used to have opinions on everything. And I've seen situations where somebody it doesn't have to be a band, but when somebody is kind of telling everybody else what to do all the time, nobody wants to be around that person, and in Berkeley I learned it. I learned that the smart managers gave autonomy, and I gave my students autonomy. You let people do things. So what I've learned with my own experience is just let it happen, because I have so much to do. I'm programming. I have all kinds of stuff up here that you can't see, but I have to figure out exactly what percussion to program and when to program it. I have a lot to learn. You know what I mean. I'm trying to catch up. I mean, there's a lot to do.
Now, how did Berkeley feel when you told them that you were leaving? And did you have to wait a while before you told them as well? I mean, there was a long wait before it was made public. How did you deal with that? With the wait, before it was made public that you were the new drummer?
Well, first, yes, I didn't say. I actually did not. I mean, nobody should feel left out as far as not being told about me. I need to say something. I come from a very tight family, all right? Growing up, you're together every weekend, cousins, everyone brings food, you laugh, you do sports, you yell and scream. There's everything that happens in a family, every weekend. And so here I am growing up with that kind of family. I did not tell them until April 18th, till my birthday. You know how hard that was?
I can imagine, like, you know, because I can imagine everyone would be at you every single day. Are you the one? Are you the one?
Oh, it was just, like, without even getting into that, because most people were great. I won't open the door to the few. But it was difficult at Berkeley. But at the same time, John, I had been wanting to leave there for a while and not quit there. I don't want to give the wrong impression. It's not like, oh, I mean, you know, I want to leave. It was that I want to play. Again, you know, I went there for a reason. I went there because I love to teach. Number one, I love to do it, so that's a good reason to go there to work. Number two, the colleagues that I had, the fellow faculty, I mean, I had something to learn from everybody. I really did. They all have specialties that I could have taken lessons from a whole bunch of people. But I was also local, and I was able to get married. First of all, I had to meet somebody, so I met somebody. I got married, and I didn't just take off on them. I know musicians that never do that, meaning they're in their bands, and it has nothing to do with whether they get married or not. They get married and they continue on, but that's not how I was brought up. It's like, you know, I got to be around every day. So I needed to make a change, and I worked there for a reason. Now, at some point, we got used to this whole kit and caboodle here in my house, and, you know, I was not happy not playing. I just simply wasn't whole. I wasn't myself. So the time came where I just wanted to leave there. So I started putting the word out there privately a few years before this happened with Dream Theater. Now, when the time came, it wasn't a surprise. It wasn't like, hey, I got this gig. See you guys. Hey, all you students that I care about a lot. You know what? See you later. It wasn't like that. They already knew that I was putting the word out. So when this came around, I didn't feel like it was a big shocker that I was going to leave. So when I gave notice on the premise that I had been planning to go, and now I'm going to go. And that's all. That's it.
Cool.
It's honest. It was consistent with how I was, and I could not say anything about Dream Theater for a whole host of reasons. And, you know, I didn't want to in some ways because it was honest. I really wanted to try to put myself out there and go. That's a good inspiration for students. I mean, how do you do this? How do you pull it off? How do you go from your drum room to the stage? You put the word out there, not market. I didn't market on YouTube or anything, but I put the word out. And man, you know, Dennis Chambers told me a while ago when he knew I wanted to get out there. He said, Mike, you just say yes to everything and keep your mouth shut. You know, when another gig comes up, don't dust anybody. Don't treat anybody. Not that I never did that anyway, but man, you know, the time came and I couldn't say anything. And on that note, it was really killing me because with my students, you know, I know half of their IDs, for crying out loud. I know how they play. Every one of them, when they email me now, oh, do you remember me? I'm like, what? I know what you wore. I know what color your sneakers are. I know what, you know. And that's why I had such a good rapport with them, because I cared so much. So in that way, it was killing me to not tell them. Then my fellow faculty, I was wanting to jump up and down, but that's the story.
Now, now that you're, you know, part of the Dream Theater family, I mean, Dream Theater have a huge, very loyal and sometimes opinionated fan base, many of which, you know, have followed the band since the very beginning. How do you feel that the news of you as the new drummer has been received by the fans?
I feel well because of what I have seen. And when I say what I have seen, I read, God, don't know how many comments. And the funny thing about how I feel about this has a lot to do with how I think. Meaning, I don't see another person as anything other than a person who has a right to think how they think, They have a right to be who they are. You know, we're brought up in different ways. We have different philosophies on life. We have different religions. We have different things we're exposed to. We have different likes and dislikes. So I have no business going, looking at somebody trying to get in their scene. Hey, you got to like me. They don't need to like me. I mean, look, I'm a fan of the band too, and I love Mike. I love what he did. Everybody has a right. If he's a hero, then they should remain that way, because he's a hero to me too. So that's all good. I look at it as like I'm a separate issue now.
Exactly.
All those things are positive. All those things are good. The fans that don't think that I'm the right person have a right to, but they really may not know me. They really may not know what I'm capable of, and it's not their fault. I don't blame them. I've done a lousy job. But, again, I go back to how I was brought up. I don't sit there and put all these clips of myself going, hey, look what I can do, and hey, whoa. But, something that's not a bad thing to do. Really, I should have done it a long time ago and gotten over that and just said, I have a business and I should put myself out there. So since I didn't do that, they totally have a right. I feel well because most everybody seems to believe that I wanted this so badly that it goes beyond. It's not a job. It's not a gig to me. I really mean that. I live. And what was not seen, basically, I don't think, but it was talked about with those auditions, is the whole audition. It's like, I knew what they were going to do. And it's funny, Jordan said it. Jordan said about what I did, he said it was as if he knew what each of us was playing, because I did.
Yeah.
It's because that's what took me, when I learned the songs, that's what I did. I really learned where John went, and I played, which was different than what Mike did. So when I say I learned every note, I learned the rhythms, but I changed some of the drums to follow what they did.
Cool.
And that was the beauty of it. That's when Jordan looked over. Or when somehow I lost what he was playing, and I knew it by watching his fingers. And he looked over because he knew that I knew what he was doing. And the same thing with all of them. And as John Mayang especially, I mean, I paid so much attention to what he was, when he was blinking or not, when his foot was moving, that it made for a really tight thing, and when it came to James's accents with certain syllables, and John's, throwing in a maybe it wasn't on the track, but I might have thrown that in to let him know that I was listening. That's why I believe I am the right musician for this. And
we're extremely excited, and we can't wait to see you on the road with Dream Theater this summer.
Yeah.
I know you're an extremely busy man, and we're holding you up, learning all the new material. Now, the final question: what will your thoughts be when you're entering the stage for the first time with Dream Theater this summer in July?
My first thoughts: put me in the game. Give me the ball. Pass me the ball. I want to kick it in the net. Well, how else am I supposed to be? I'm brought up as an athlete and with a lot of family yelling and screaming and, cheering for you and all that. There's no time for me to think of anything else. There's no time for it. These fans don't need anybody else back there. Oh gosh, oh wow, this is great. Something? No. I got a job to do. Give me that ball. That's all I have to say.
Well, that sounds great, Mike. We can't wait to see you. And thank you so much for doing the interview with us.
You're welcome.
Good luck with learning all the new songs. A massive task, I'm sure it is. And we'll see you on the road this summer.
Yes.